Let's go. Good evening, Underground World News Live. Get the mic check in here real quick. Make sure that everything is good. Always seem to have weird glitches at the very beginning of the stream, but as long as everything's going out good, that's what counts. Much love. Good to see everybody out there. Thank you, Kef Bar, Hoodie Ross, everyone out there that shares the stream. Appreciate it to the fullest. You get it out there in front of eyes that I can't reach. I'm so censored. Thank you, everyone. Flip, Tom, Hopkinson, Gabriel, Nish, Quantum, Wild, Steely. Thank you so much for the super chat. John Boy in the house. I seen somebody was celebrating 1 month in the underground. Much love. And again, thank you for all the feedback, everybody out there. Got a lot to cover here tonight. We are live on Rumble, on X, and on YouTube. Mainly watching the YouTube chat. The Restream bot kicks out most comments. I at least see Rumble's comments over there. Not so sure about any of the X comments, but much love. Everybody out there, hope all is well. Going to try to wrap this up as quickly as possible here within a couple hours and cover all grounds. Start off here with a story on Rihanna, of all people. There was a shooting Apparently, at her house, someone shot her house up. A 30-year-old woman was arrested. I was looking into it earlier, and that woman seemed to have some kind of grudge against Rihanna. Was calling her out in different YouTube videos for like petty things and just kind of things that she held against her. And by all accounts, the woman didn't look like anyone that was going to be shooting anything, but she did. She went up here and she shot the mansion up, left multiple bullet holes in it, and she got quickly arrested. But she was just ranting, going on about just personal little grudges she's got in all these different little ways against Rihanna, saying this word, doing things like this, like that. I don't know. Some people off the rocker out there, but anyone willing to just roll up on someone's house and to start firing rounds, like for no reason, your life's not in danger or nothing like that, just out of pure hate. They got one off the street, so she was not hit. No one in the home was hit or injured. So, yeah. We also have an incident that I want to keep track of here in terms of an evacuation. This was at the Kansas City International Airport over the weekend. We might see more of this. I have reports, in the comment section, people are saying that we're traveling, that all across the country, lines are backed up all over the place. All these airports, TSA. Remember, they cut the funding to a lot of this stuff to DHS, and they said that there was going to be backups in certain areas, which I thought was not too smart. While we're in the midst of kicking up war out here, you want to down our defensive home spending? That seems suspect to me, like a setup. Anyhow, all these people got ushered out because of a security incident. They ended up saying that everything was all clear later, but they never gave any details as to what it was. The initial report did say it was a credible bomb threat, is what came through. Guess it's not going to try to play anything off there. You see people being evacuated. Someone being told, head outside, get outside. So all these people heading outside. Now, I've warned about this in the past. You've got to watch these type of situations, especially for a setup, a terror setup. Like, we're in the age of those type of events. So when I see this, all these people calmly walking out and evacuating the airport, I see them setting the stage for, with no security, no one around the perimeter. Someone could have came down this road, just mowed these people down. Someone could have opened fire on these people in a setup. You have to start keeping these things in mind, man, because the enemy is going to use tactics just like that. If they can flush people out of an area, a false bomb threat, and keep people all out into the wide open, they're sitting ducks. And not any of these people seem to have a care in the world, a look on their face. Oh, just strolling out calmly. I'm just saying. It's the first thing that hits me when I see that. Let me get a quick update here on the space weather real quick as well. We've got a glancing blow from a CME expected this week. It'll probably only be a G1. I don't think it'll get that bad. Although we've got 4384, the sunspot right here staring right at us. It could hit us with an X-flare. So we'll just keep an eye on this stuff. Nothing else major popping off there in space. Worth noting, there's plenty of stuff going down, but until I get my telescope, my camera on the moon and up in the sky, wow, just kind of waiting on that. Once I got the telescope up, I look to have like at least a once a month stream focused on the moon, if not a couple, whenever we got clear skies. And I'm going to lock into All the creators, we're just going to pick certain spots, target them, zoom in, and see what's there. High definition, super zoom. Jump over to the oil prices, the economy. Trump says searching oil prices are going to drop. I don't know if you guys are seeing gas prices up across the board out there yet, but I know they went up. I seen a repeated theme in these clips that was being shared out there. They kept saying short-term pain is long-term gain. And they kept showing the clips from all these different news outlets out there, of which I don't watch or see. But I seen the collage of all of them together. Trump basically saying that only fools are going to think differently. We'll see here. If this is ongoing with Iran, the prices would spike. If they come to some kind of peace thing, it'd come down. But anything Trump says out there these days affects the markets, as you can see right here. Again, I don't know what the prices are in your neck of the woods, but I know in Southern California, places like that, it's a lot higher than what it is in like my neck of the woods. All right, there you go. 609 a gallon for Supreme here in California. Okay. Thanks for checking in with that information. Also, if you guys got anything you want to get to me tonight, dabu7@yahoo.com. That is the email. Tacos. See it in Colorado, $3.49. Wow, it's a big difference, right? $4.69 Northern Nevada. Give you an idea of what's going on there out west. Let's jump into the money here, stable coins and the dollar, because what's happening is forever, everyone has expected. Well, it's been doom and gloom around the dollar, right? It's been debased. It's not worth what it used to be. To get that back, well, you can't really. When your currency has been devalued and it's been worked down to this point where it's like worthless, the only thing that you can try to do for anything is to back it by gold. They could start over with something fresh, you could argue, because you have all this currency that's in supply out there, right? It becomes worthless paper, just like down in Venezuela. People will be making baskets out of the currency because they can get more out of selling the basket than like what the currency is even worth. It's like worthless. If they can get American dollars out of a tourist coming through, then they're making something. You see what I'm saying? So they can make the basket out of, I don't even know what kind of price to put on the Venezuelan currency. I mean, it's like virtually worth nothing compared to the US dollar. Buying power, like out here on the world stage. If the world stage has shown us that currencies come and go in terms of being the boss hog at the top. It used to be the British currency was leading the way, and then that was gone. The United States dollar, the US dollar, has been the one in control for a while now. And even if something big happens, I don't look for that to change immediately, because what's going to happen here, it's not going to be the death of the dollar. It's not what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is, well, they've connected it to a stable coin, the USDT. I'm trying to get this through to people. Like, this is the move. It's digitizing the dollar. It's not the death of it. It's digitizing it, connecting it to a stable coin. And then if that don't work, as they've shown with Tether, they will back the Tether with gold. They could have just backed the currency with gold. Right? Could have. Still can. People can argue this, but people don't do nothing out here. Absolutely nothing. But you could have backed our currency with gold like we used to have. Nixon took it off of it in like 1971. It's lost tremendous value since. But instead of making that connection, they wanted to make sure that if they did this, there was some kind of benefit for them in all this. And what is the benefit? Digitizing the currency. Because now, if you move to a digital currency that's backed by gold, it's the US dollar still. It's just digital. And a lot of people out there got a false sense of what digital is. Like everything's already digital, but no, not this kind of digital. You've been fooled, suckered. And I guess you ignored this whole blockchain thing, right? This is technological, and this is where it's all going. It's the trap. On blockchain, there's no privacy. So every little coffee you buy, fill up at the store, anything and everything you buy is no longer private. If you care. And some people just don't care. It'd be to their detriment and their kids' detriment in the end of all this. But fiat currency has been dogged a lot. And like I said, it's worth like nothing compared to what it used to be. But you have the freedom of buying something off your neighbor in the backyard. Tomatoes, potatoes, bananas, whatever. And you can do it without the man watching you, because that's all this is about. They want to see every single transaction so they can get a piece of it. You see? Lemonade stand the same way. Ain't gonna be no more anything. Everyone's gonna have to have a cell phone on them and tap whatever. Boom, boom, quick. And the government gets their piece of the pie. 50-cent cup of lemonade. It used to be 50 cents right into the pocket of the person right there. Government wants a little piece of the pie. So you're only going to be getting, 35 cents, something like that. They're going to be taking their chunk. That's what this is all about. It's the trap. It always has been. It's here now. And they're only one event away. I've been saying it forever. I don't know when the event's going to be, but when the event happens, it's not going to be good. It's pretty simple, though. Just hold money hostage. If you can't get your money out of the bank tomorrow morning, you can't get gas at the gas station, you can't do this and that, we got a problem, right? That's what's going to happen at this point. That's why I keep saying get your money out of the banks. Have you seen what the markets have been doing? Like, if you follow me on X, I'm sure you have, but, well, maybe not. I'm so censored. But I've been tweeting out just staggering numbers in the red in terms of the market. $700 billion loss is what was shown today. Like, it used to be on major loss days, when you look at the market, the big dogs would barely move, like maybe a half a percentage or something in terms of the stocks and all that. But like, you've got full blown 1, 2, 3, 4 point losses on big stocks in one day. Again, some people are just oblivious to this crap, man. And I don't know. I feel like some people are just sitting around and I guess, I don't know. Whenever this goes down, it goes down, right? Either you wanted to be prepared or you didn't. I think some people just show up for entertainment. And it's really going to be to their detriment when these things go into motion and they sat here listening the whole time and they never did nothing. Have a plan? Well, what do I do? What have we been telling you the whole time? Get your money out of the bank. Get your money out of the bank. Do something or nothing. 401ks, all that the same. And look, it depends on how you're playing your cards. I had somebody hit me up here recently and was like, yo, some financial advice. Like, I'm looking to make a move. And this person has cashed out their 401k and all that stuff beforehand, listened in the beginning, and has saved up like another $50,000 and was like, look, I'm going to make moves on it in terms of like war stock. And I'm like, well, I'm just going over crossing the T's and dotting the I's with this person. And That in this type of setting where everything come down, that's one of the few areas where you're gonna potentially continue to see a gain. These other places are all falling out in the red, but the Raytheons and all those places, they're Boeing potentially, anything connected to the aircrafts in war where you're gonna need more, more supply, it's gonna make it go up. It's just how it works. Um, but my warning is that if they, you know, Trump likes to jerk the chain back and forth. Just like when he handshakes someone, back and forth, yanking them back and forth. That's what he does. He's Mr. Flip Flop. And I'm telling you, like all this war with Iran, the headlines, all these moves to be made, you just wait till I get to the war piece. Like by tomorrow morning, everything could be changed. And we'll be out of a war climate. And this affects things. The oil prices will come down, maybe even gold and all that will pull back and retract more. That's what happens in peace, in times of peace. Now, I'll give you a little hint here. If you want to be a hawk on the game and you're out there, you're shorting and you're longing, you need to watch stuff like this, especially like in the news, being on top of the news here. If they're projecting and there's a really good possibility like peace is going to come out of this, and we know that certain things pull back, then set shorts. You see? And the same thing goes like way ahead of time. Like when you heard the first rumblings and thought that we were going to go after Khomeini beginning of this year and all this, you should have been setting longs in this area. Um, Hell, I'll be honest. The markets are crazy these days. They've got Kalshi and Polymarket out there where like there were bets since the day someone made one, I guess. You can bet on anything over there, but that they'll kill Khomeini by, and there would be dates, and there'd be money put on dates, and that money would rise. You buy shares of one of those, and I'm telling you, like people putting huge money down that like Khomeini would be killed by before the end of March. Here we are. It's before the end of March. He's dead and gone. Whoever was making those bets over there made a killing. And the market's just totally different and not the same anymore. It's like it's totally different now. It's not just old trading stale stocks and that only move a small percentage here and there. No, the crypto market itself, which I don't agree with because it's largely fraudulent and it's blockchain trap, but it showed that there's volatility out there in those types of markets, and volatility means money can be made regardless. It can. You just got to be able to time it. Timing's everything in the markets. But the markets are also rigged, right? So I just want you to know that, again, it seems like we're only missing an event where you're going to wake up one day and you're not going to be able to use your money. Yeah, it has to be. How else are they going to get you onto the digital dollar? I'll wait. Go ahead. How? 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 How are they going to get you onto the digital dollar? How are they going to do it? We're going to get you to have to want it first or need it, want it to use it. Well, how do they do that? Exactly like I told you. They got to hold your money in the bank hostage. You can't use it. You can't touch it. And then they say, download this little app and you'll be able to go to any store, anywhere and spend it. And you will be. And everyone will do it. And just that easy. You get everybody onto the digital dollar. One move. One move. Easy. And it don't even have to be too traumatic or dramatic. Either way, it will be for some because some people will realize this is it. They're holding your money hostage. You know, hold it hostage maybe a week or two. Some people will try to ride it out. And you're going to see as you're riding this thing, trying to ride it out, that all these other people are just pushing on with life at the gas station, at the grocery store. That's what you're gonna see, and that's what they want you to see. They want you to suffer. They want you like that this is it. There's gonna be no coming out of this. Um, in the end, when they finally do resolve the issue, it'll only be when they have a majority of the populace on the new system. And once they have that, it's game over. It's game over. Because again, nobody makes a stand in this country. That's what the power of protesting does, and all this and that. So people go, "Oh, it doesn't do nothing." It does something. You're flexing your rights and your freedom. You sit there on your ass and do nothing, you lose it all. And that's what America's about to see. You sit there on that ass and you do nothing, thinking some white knights that you know don't even exist are going to show up. Like, no, 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 no. Like, this is on yeah, like everyone listening can hear my voice. And the problem is, no one ever wants to be that person to step up and do anything. And that's why nothing happened. And it's beyond just this live stream and the people who listen here. It's the millions of people out there that, even if they could hear this, I'm convinced that they too, just because of what they do, they're not going to do nothing. They're going to go along with the flow. We could sit out there in front of every bank with signs and warning signs, telling them this is a trap. This is big beast blockchain. Have teams at every bank coordinated across the country, go through all that energy, all that time, and every single person would walk right freaking past you. Like, I got to feed my child. I got to get to work. They're going to download the app and they're not going to care what you say. That's what we're up against. It's lightweight, like, I don't know how you're gonna stop it. I do everything I can. I mean, if you've got an idea, I'm all ears, but like, good luck, man. Been out here trying to warn people and rally the troops for how long? Do you have a platform like this? Do you have a following like this that you can reach? Is anyone else gonna make a change? Hmm? I'm waiting. Um, I don't know, man. This country, it's to a depressing point. It's to a depressing point. Um, you don't have one movement out there. It's just crazy because, like, I've put myself in the position where I'm like, I felt at first that the reason it wasn't happening is because people were scared that they get killed or something out there. And I'm like, well, hold on. I'll go out there and I'll take the headshot. Like, I'll do it. Like, I'll do it. Like, you ain't gotta worry. Like, they'll kill me. I don't care. But then, like, everyone still sat there and it was crickets. It was like, hold on. Like, what the is going on here, dude? I'm gonna lay my life on the line for the calls I hear. And you can't even get people to rally or rise. Like, this is game over. You just got a handful of riders, man. It's a handful of real riders, like Low Rider. Always there, man. Much love, my brother. Thank you for gifting those memberships. And to whoever got them, welcome to the underground. Maybe I'll get to see some of you someday. Meet you one day before this is all over. Maybe not. I don't know. I really think that huge things are going to happen on Trump's watch. Economically, the event I'm warning about right now, the shift to digital, it's going to happen on Trump's watch. I fear this year. Let's hope not, but it's going to happen on his watch. It's very clear. Look, man, for over a decade, I've warned about blockchain. And if people just have not heard or heeded the warning or are taking the time to learn in the decade, I don't know what to tell them. They just didn't want to know. And the world's a changing. It's jumping to home sales because it's been up and down. This is a reflection, one of the reflections of where we sit, so I cover it. Home relistings hit a record high, and you get the spring season kicking off. It's really hot. This is usually when everything hits the market and homes go up for sale. And it was kind of stagnant last year, but some things were said by the Trump administration, and like some things were pulling back, but we're waiting for this new Fed pick. When he gets in there and replaces Jerome Powell, they highly suspect one of the first things they're going to do is they're going to pull back on rates. They're going to do a cut. They may end up doing within the first year 2 cuts. What this is going to do is it's going to pull back the interest rates and it's going to create a window for people to get a lower rate than they've seen in a long time. Okay. I'm going to tell you now, that may be the last window ever that is ever created for people to make a move. That's what it's looking to be here. Trippy, Splendor. Thank you for the comments and good information. And yes, I know the copper is critical. So again, when it comes to houses, it's critical. A lot of people, the younger generation right now, they're saying they can't even afford getting into a home because of the climate, and that people in their 30s, like the odds of them getting a home compared to someone 10 years ago in their 30s, it's completely different. A lot of Generation Z, younger generation, living at home still or staying with family. Now that's nothing to frown on in this climate. Like, when you're in a trap in a situation like this, I mean, family's family, you come together. Like, I would rather see families come together and be there for one another than people living on the streets or without, right? I mean, it's what it's supposed to be about. But you're going to see more and more of this, of where, kids get 30, 40 years old, you're no longer a kid. I mean, you're a grown adult, and like, you never get that chance to own a home because it's out of reach, either because you don't have a job, because there's no job opportunity. That's going to keep dwindling with AI, which is scary, and you have to take it into consideration. You have to put it into the equation. And with no job and nothing like that, there is no getting a house. There is no nothing. If you ain't got money to put down and you don't have some kind of income to show that you're making, like, it's done. I keep thinking of the executive order Donald Trump put on the books where they're allowed to round up homeless. Yeah, that was real. And it was under the guise that there was, druggies out there, but nowhere in the language did it say it had to be druggie specific. Nowhere. And again, they started picking these people up and taking them to facilities, and you've never heard another word about it. That was before strike teams even got rolled out and everything else. Like, those guys are long in the rearview mirror. Like, what happened to all these homeless people they swooped up? Don't nobody give a shit about nothing anymore, man. It's pathetic. It's sad. I'm to the point, like, I came and I was ready for war. I was ready to do whatever it took, and like, no one wanted to rally or mount up. So I'm gonna switch gears then. If I can't, I'm not gonna put my time and energy into that because it's not there, because the people aren't there. But then I'm gonna put it into history's mysteries and like finding giants and stuff like that, and really like going out and finding and doing something crazy and legendary. And if I lose my life doing it that way, then oh well. I'm not. You can't be a bitch. I mean, that's what's got us in this position to begin with. People bitching out. It's always got an excuse. Everyone not wanting to give up the cushy whatever they got going, and that's just, it's sad. At some point, you have to have men and women, no matter the age, the circumstance, that are willing to ride for the country. Someone, somewhere, somehow. It can't be the same old, oh, go let your sons and daughters sign up for the military and go kill innocent people. You know better than that now. You're educated. You know this is the beast. You don't do that. What you should be doing is educating your youth and taking the time, which most people don't want to even do. It's also pathetic. I've seen it with people that were friends, no longer friends, that talked all this crap about the beast and all that, and then let their kids join the military to go kill innocent people. And again, never instilled in them the fact that, you know who the beast is, the establishment, everything that's here. You didn't teach them nothing about that. You just let them sign up. Oh, I had to get them out of the house. Get them out of the house. Like, you're pathetic. People are pathetic. You don't even care. Just go off your kids, off to the beast. Just get them out of the house. Pathetic. When you know all the difference, you know who the enemy is. You should be training them on who the enemy is. or who's going to screw their life up. You're going to find out the hard way. You see, and at some point, it's gonna come back to bite you because they're gonna realize this. You wake up at some point, right? Even if you're 30 years old in the factory, 40 years, whatever the point is, you realize this is a slave game. The sooner you figure that out, the better. But when you reflect on it, you're like, hold on, like they had to know. And when you start going back and asking questions, it's gonna come back to haunt you. When they come back, like, why didn't you warn me of this? Why didn't you tell me of all this? Then you can either lie to them or you can face your karma. Again, that's all bitch. It's all bitch karma. Like, people need to make a stand. You need to be training your children, your youth, who the real enemies in this world are. The pedos and all that are kidnapping kids like them and trying to do bad things. You need to be educating them on that. Not being over here, woo-hoo, Trump training it with literal pedo protectors. Like, those days are long gone. And I salutes and applause to everyone that jumped ship. It's not an easy thing to do when you think you're a part of something like that. Everyone thought, oh, I'm a Trumper for life, and they're going to be a part of something special forever. What was special when it was going up against Biden, but it was only special because you felt you were on the winning side. But when you find out that you're being played, it doesn't feel good. You get very pissed off. And that anger right there, that's when you wake up. That's when you take a step back. You like, F them all. The whole government, like the whole thing's, that's when you wake up. Okay? Still fall into the left-right paradigm. You're not awake. I wish you luck if you're seeking a home out there. Just keep in mind what I'm telling you. Okay? I would look to like make a move, buy or sell in the next year, like especially with this move being made. I'm not sure you're going to get better rates after this like year cycle. There should be several cuts, and when it happens, they're going to have a little window there for people to buy. It may even be on the other side of a reset, because it would help with the recovery, which would only mean that a reset's coming. In a reset, again, it's not going to be all dramatic. It could be very like forgettable event. Just hold everyone's money hostage for a day, and not even really too scary when they get a message on their phone or they're told just download this new app. That's it. What'll happen though at some point is the masses will have to look back and reflect and realize that, like, I have no more cash. Like, I have no more money to hold. I have no more cash. At some point, they're gonna have to realize it. Like they've been suckered. It's gonna happen, man. It's gonna change everything, man. I instantly think of just the streets, the hustle, anybody. What about the guy, anyone, guy floating around, making money doing whatever, handyman, guy floating around mowing yards, like I said, the lemonade stand, any of this, even on over to your drug dealers selling their sacks on the corner. Like, all that's going to change in a digital world. Think about it. Facts. How are they going to transact then? Especially with illegal dealings, which happens a tremendous amount all over the place. It's not just going to dry it up. Get out of here. Nice try. It's not going to stop a fiend. No. Yeah. They will go to some drastic measures for what they want. I'm telling you, there's going to be a defining shift in everything, on how people interact. How is the everyday cycle? Sun rises on Cincinnati, Ohio, and every day there's certain people that do certain things, that buy certain things, they have certain interactions. And there's a lot of drug dealing. I know there is. Okay, and this isn't a lot of major cities, right? And hard drugs, small lighter drugs, just marijuana, whatever. That's the illegal stuff. is what I'm hitting on. There's plenty of legal stuff too that transactions, like I said, every day that I just told you. So on both sides of the coin, the everyday person is going to feel this at some point. Imagine, I mean, what does the government do to a 12-year-old that has a successful lemonade stand in whatever little, you know what I'm saying? And they're not even an adult making a little money. The government can come taxing the hell out of them too. Yes, they will. That's the answer to that. It's crazy. This doesn't even matter. Like any and all things will be tracked and traced. If you like the big retailers out there, I want to point out that there's certain days where you can get discounts. Okay. So if you look at the screen, you can see that it's got a retailer, it's got a sector, total price change to average price drop, and the best day to buy. If you're on Amazon, best day to buy, Wednesday. Walmart, Monday. A lot of the grocery type places like that have Mondays on here. You'll see Walmart's Monday, Kroger's on a Monday, Ollie's Express on a Monday, Target Saturday, Best Buy Friday, Revolve a Monday, Publix a Monday, Newegg Saturday, Gap Monday, Macy's on a Friday. So retail and stuff like that. Yeah, you could see people get the check when to buy some electronics, some things. They're hitting them there. Okay. So just let you know, if you're buying a lot, Lowe's, best time to buy home improvement stuff, Home Depot and Lowe's, Monday, then Tuesday, Monday and Tuesday. So looking to save a buck in this Trump economy. There you go. And Trump, there's all this talk with the SAVE Act and like what they're going to do about gas and all this. Well, if he solves the war or if they stop it, prices will fall back. But the SAVE Act is different. I'm going to run this clip here. It explains a little bit on it.
Is the White House press secretary, Karoline Leavitt. Karoline, it's great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Maria. Great to see you.
And of course, as the impact of this war is affecting American citizens and consumers through the increase in the price of oil, the president needs to walk a balance here. What is the president expecting to do to rein in those prices right now where we are watching and waiting for those midterm elections in November?
Well, the president is watching everything, both abroad through the demolition of the rogue Iranian regime through Operation Epic Fury, and of course here at home. And President Trump can walk and chew gum at the same time. You saw him this past week at the White House hosting a ratepayer protection pledge roundtable with big tech companies, AI companies, to talk about how they are picking up the cost of electricity bills across the country and American communities to drive down costs. The president inherited the worst affordability crisis in our nation's history from Joe Biden. Look at the progress he has made in the course of the past year. Now, with respect to what's happening with gas prices right now, this is a short-term disruption for the long-term gain of taking out the rogue Iranian terrorist regime. And
did you hear what she just said? Did you hear that? This is a short-term disruption for a long-term gain. I told you earlier, this is something that has been repeated. And I watched a collage earlier of it. It's being ticker taped. It's like magic. It's black magic. They use it repetitively on the masses to where if you're getting your hair done and it's being played in the background, or if you're in the car and it's being played on the radio, whatever, like the same message is getting through over and over through all these different avenues. I've done this before. They did it big time during COVID and lockdowns. They made sure they were all in sync. And you could take 50 stations and you could line them up right next to each other and hit play. And word for word, they're all saying the same script. It's a script. is what it is. It's propaganda is what it is. I say, people, you gotta learn to realize what it is when you see it. Much love, Jay from the Bill. Much love, Comrade Kim. Thank you for the super chat. But I don't know where it's going to go with gas prices, but in a war setting, it can always spike. This guy, Secretary Wright, has a little bit to say about it.
Chris Wright. Mr. Secretary, welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Thanks for having me, Shannon.
Okay, so of course we're just talking about the Strait of Hormuz there and the impact that has on oil prices worldwide. The average for a gallon of gas here in the U.S. is up over 40 cents since these strikes started. What is the plan?
Yeah, the plan is to get oil and natural gas and fertilizer and all the products from the Gulf flowing through the straits before too long. And I may break a little news here, but one large tanker has already gone through the straits with no issues at all. So as the general just described, we're massively attriting their ability to strike with missiles and drones. And that rate of attrition will increase in the coming days. So we'll be cautious, we'll be careful, but energy will flow soon. It's one of the reasons the president had to move on this war. Iran has just terrorized America, the neighborhood, and energy markets for 47 years.
All right, I want to get your take on something that Politico is reporting. It says Energy Secretary Chris Wright and other advisors focused on energy policy, quote, are getting screamed at to find some good news on bringing down prices. Quote, folks are scrambling for announcements and messaging to counter the narrative of these rising prices. Fact or fiction? What can you tell us on how this is playing inside the White House?
Oh, it's fiction. It's right along the line. I've read about a dozen fiction pieces from Politico and other news things about just stuff totally made up, whole cloth. We've been planning and talking about this, for quite some time. Energy markets are massively well supplied right now. In fact, the run up in prices has nothing to do with any shortage of barrels of oil or natural gas. It's just fear and perception, the unknown, that this could be some long, drawn-out crisis.
Really?
But it won't.
It's nothing to do with shortage. It just has to do with fear and perception. Did you hear what he said? They are rigging the game. It has nothing to do. He said the quiet part out loud. He literally did right there. They're playing. Everybody, war's a racket, this, but he just said it. There's not like there's a shortage or anything like that. It's just they're playing on the fear and the perception. It's ridiculous, man. You heard it right from the horse's mouth. That's why I play some of these clips, man. Sometimes what comes out of their mouth is like, what? All right, let's jump into an AI update. Now, this is it's kind of wild. This isn't, can you even say this is like AI? They have taken 800,000 neurons from a brain cells, and put them in a petri dish. And these things have figured out how to play a video game. So I tell you, AI is on a different level and all this, but this is just taking cells and just what life can do. It's pretty wild here, man. See if there's another shot here. I don't want to play that clip because it's a YouTube clip. So here's a shot of it right here. It's playing the game right there. It's right there. The cells in that petri dish right here. This is crazy. Connected to that sensor pad. They are controlling it. They are communicating. They are intelligent. This is mind blowing. This is pretty crazy. Again, just cells that you can take out of anyone's brain, putting them in a petri dish, and like these things are learning, and like it just shows how um the creation of the human body and cells and all this stuff, just how wild it is, and what things can do, like intelligence and everything. It's just nuts, man. So that's cells. That's not even like that's not AI. It reminds me of AI, but it's not. I feel like someone's trying to tell me something. What has to be getting consciously animated? It has to consciously be getting animated. Okay, so this takes me back to like the Jinn, um, the ether, not just Jinn, but because Jinn's largely doing bad things, but it just consciousness. I've said this before. If that is what the mind is, and most people don't understand this, they hear mind, they think it's the physical brain. It's not. The physical brain is the physical of the mind. The mind, if you look into anything ancient and esoteric, that's what the universe is of. It is mental. Everything is projected. It begins with the mind, mental consciousness, meaning consciousness exists in energy. Okay? Meaning, like we always say, you are energy. And when you die, you're not dead. You just leave your vessel, right? You leave the vessel that you're in right now because energy never dies. So it can only change transformation. So keep that in mind. All the energy floating around out there, and like something, some kind of consciousness has to be affecting these cells. Um, is how I see it. And it's almost just like AI, because AI was the same thing with the bots. It's like Frankenstein. You make a bot, you add AI, and it's like the Jinn, the spirit realm. It's like Frankenstein. It's able to inhibit that body, that vessel, and that's where it's coming from. You wonder why AI can do things it was never taught. Like it was never taught a trillion different things, like how to blackmail or anything like that. But yet it did it. So how did it get it? It's because it's long been known. There is a cache of knowledge that exists right here in the realm around you. Some call it the Akashic record, right? That you can tap it, that can be tapped into. But here the demons, there's a whole different thing with AI, I guess, for sure. I keep going back to that, but uh, it's pretty wild in this world when you got brain cells playing Doom. I mean, you got brain cells playing Doom. It sounds nuts. It is nuts. It's what's happening in 2026. That's just where I'm gonna leave that one. All right, on to the next one. Federal surveillance tech becomes mandatory in new cars in 2027. So, if you haven't heard about this, by 2027, all new cars are going to be mandated, thanks to Section 24220 of the 2021 Infrastructure Investment Act, Investment and Jobs Act. This is all possible. So while we were in hysteria and lockdowns and all this is one of the things they ran through. And this is the infrared cameras and sensors are going to be put all throughout the inside of the car to be able to do constant biometric assessment of the driver. Yep. Any car made from 2027 on, brand new, will have these features in it. And because people don't stand up and step up and do anything, say anything, this is going to get implemented. So you won't ever see me in any like 2027. I don't even want to be in like a 2027 model, like newer. Like that's like the hell with you. The hell with all that. Someone's got to make a stand. Put me in like an old school drop top. Something to survive an EMP anyway. I'll take that all day. The heck with all this new stuff. And it's all just going toward EV. And I'm convinced that when the fun stuff gets released, it's going to be on the other side of the wall. The beast wall. Meaning to be able to utilize any of these fun things in society that you're going to have, like floating cars and anti-gravitics and all this stuff. You're going to have to basically be in the system, part of the system. The beast system. It'll be full blown by then. And it'd be by like demand. Some always try to make excuses for it, like, oh, it's this, it's that, when it comes to the mark. But no, I believe it's going to be everything. It's going to be a physical mark, and it's going to be not hard to pull off. When you drop a lethal virus out there, which we've not seen yet, something like bird flu, and like you've got friends dying left and right, it's killing like 50% of the population, 50% of whoever gets it. Dice roll, 50-50. It's way different than what we just went through. You won't see nurses doing satanic dances in hospitals. You won't. You'll see the fear set in for the first time because it'll be real. And that is when all these strike teams that for some reason have been rolled out. Why were they rolled out? They were rolled out to get these guys ready to round up people. And you can guarantee the same strike teams that are rounding up illegals right now will be coming after purebloods. It sounds conspiratorial, but it's real deal. It's anyone that doesn't get the mark. So you've heard the mark the whole time, right? In your Bible, you've heard about end times, but this is actually going to be a real thing. It's going to be visible. And the wildest thing in the world is that Bill Gates has this patented on record. It's a vaccine called, it's designed through Luciferase. And it will leave a literal visual mark on you. It glows in the dark. Glows in the dark. So when you get it on your hand, get it in your arm or whatever, like they'll be able to see from 10 feet away your mark. It will glow. It's very easy. It's very streamlined. It's very what they will do. They won't. Do you think a troop, like, look, if something breaks out pretty crazy, man, I'm telling you, man, they're these guys take orders. You already knew that, and they're just gonna go rounding up whoever, and they're gonna be like, hands up. And if you don't put your hands up, you're gonna get potentially shot and killed. You're lethal at that point, even though all the troops should be technically jabbed for it. Why should they fear any of these people that got it then? But they're going to be scared. They're going to be given orders. It was, you know how it's going to roll out. Just like Songbird. Gunpoint, hands up, show your mark. You got your mark. They know you're good. You're treated different. Like the guns are off of you. It's on to the next two people behind you. Show me your mark. The next, show me your mark. Oh, these two don't have marks. Get them over to the side. If they try to take off and run or run at you, they get shot dead. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. That's what I've been shown in my visions from God. That's why I've gone through everything I've gone through. That's what the real deal will look like. And just stop and think about it. It's all real deal 100%. That's just with the 50% kill rate. It could be worse. But yeah, I gotta say that's number one. My number one fear of something happening above an EMP and all that. I even got AI above EMP at this point. So the real release of something deadly is the number one thing that I would be watching for. And number two is just AI. It's silently replacing us, period, in all aspects. So I think an EMP is survivable if you prepare, if you've been prepared in all this stuff. Um, More so than AI. I think AI is it's gonna blindside everybody. It's never going away at this point. Never going away. Remember, AI is what's going to be watching you inside these vehicles. I mean, isn't AI what is controlling all the Tesla vehicles, right? It's what's driving down the road while people are sitting there reading a book in the driver's seat. That's scary to me. I would, if it was my call, I would mandate, like, nah, that ain't even cool. Like, you got to have hands on the steering wheel at all times and like be cognitive of what's going on, in my opinion. I don't even want to be on the highway and look over next to me and see everybody just like out. Like the driver's like, you know, doing her hair and like, or something, and like not even paying attention. This Tesla's just driving itself. Like, I just don't trust all that, man. I don't know. The biometric thing is a whole different animal. Not only is it going to make sure that you're sober, as it says right here, but like all these other things, it's going to know where you're at all times. He just left his vehicle and he entered the store. That's where we're heading. Yeah, seriously. Remember what I said on the last stream about Eagle Eye? They've got the technology where they can tap into a person's phone that's sitting next to you in a restaurant. They know that person's on the phone and they can access their camera. And because the phone's up to their ear, the camera is being held up in a perfect position to see everybody in the room. Do you understand how often this is happening? Easy, like clockwork. Like, people just don't even understand how nasty these alphabet gangs are and how far they'll go. These are things we know about. I mean, we know some pretty crazy stuff about Israeli government and stuff, right? They'll lace explosives into electronics and blow people apart. Like, you could actually have an electronic device out there that has got a small bit of C4 in it, and it just has to be triggered the right way, and it will blow up. What really blew me away was Netanyahu at that meeting out of nowhere was like, "You got a cell phone? Everybody got a cell phone?" He's like, "Yeah, you're holding a piece of Israel right there." Everyone's like, "What?" Like, yeah, that was him warning everybody that, yeah, we're in all your electronics. You used to have to worry about them listening and watching you through the screen and all this, but now you got to worry about them blowing your head off. And just never forget, Bibi is he's so brutal with it. Like, in the wide open, he showed the whole world like he's the master of this whole thing. He gave Trump a golden pager, like an open threat. You know, like in front of everybody. Like, we all know what that means. Like, you blow people up with the pager. It's like, what the, like, but that's Bibi. Like, you ain't never seen Trump tuck the chair in underneath his. I ain't even seen. I've never seen. Now I think about it, I don't even think I've seen Trump tuck the chair in underneath Melania. If somebody, that's your homework tonight. If anyone could find video footage of Trump tucking the chair in underneath of Melania, I would love to see it. Because if we can't find none, what does that tell you? Do you won't even tuck a chair in under his own wife, but he will for Bibi? Just saying. All right, let's go down to New Mexico and also Texas. Uncommon News, again, got to give you a shout out here on your work and everything you do down there. You may recall, past couple weeks, I had several stories going up about drones and drones being shot down by the border. Well, the second incident resulted in like a NOTAM all the way out until like midsummer. And that does not happen normally. You just don't do that unless something crazy is going on. But now we know that it looks like they're doing testing without saying it. Because they're saying the FAA will conduct anti-drone laser tests in New Mexico. They're now admitting it. But before they were trying to be hush-hush. They were like, oh, this drone's down. Something about a laser. And a laser was given to the wrong people. And there was all this conflicting information. Well, now we know that they've got anti-drone lasers rolled out down there. And like they're going to be ripping them through the sky left and right. So Uncommon, you hear this at any point, like my man, he's got something special lined up. Like he showed me some stuff, sent me some stuff. Like when he's done, he's got an instrument and device together down there because he's been tracking the frequencies of drones in the air. All the drones have their own frequency that they're on. And he's got a device that can pick it up out of the air. And he knows that it's a certain frequency. He can take a frequency and match it to each drone, even the military ones. Chinese made, US made, all these different bands that they operate under. And I don't know, it's just a lot's going on down there, man. And he showed me that much. So now they're admitting lasers being rolled out. So if you're down there, if anybody has any information on this, if you see anything, get any video of this test being conducted, let me know. If you can, I want to know, so I got a lot of questions. They're being very kind of hush-hush about this in terms of the laser. I want to know if it's a dual. I want to know if it's a solid array, or if it's similar to what we witnessed here recently, Israel using. They were like, Israel rolled out their lasers, and theirs are like a pulse. It's almost like they're shooting an object, like a rail gun or something, at these drones and missiles coming in. Their laser operated like that. It didn't zap way out there, one big, huge, long beam like you're thinking, like people often think. But that is a weapon. That is possible. That is why they put a NOTAM up, because if you miss your object and like you're at the wrong angle and there's a flight way down yonder, and your laser slices into it, it's going to hit it. That's how lasers work, man. Trust me, I've seen and messed with and got my hands on some pretty bad lasers, man, that like shouldn't even be probably on the market out there in my day. Throughout the years, I had buddies that had little laser devices and stuff that would literally like fry stuff from like football fields away. Like just put it on like boom, like how'd you get that? It's like military grade. You know what I'm saying? Like, stuff like that. Like, so I know that if they got handheld ones that are out there floating around, civilians can get their hands on, that the military has, I'm going to say beyond shoulder mount. Their lasers can probably go for hundreds of miles and wipe out objects. So, this is a huge NOTAM all the way to the summer. It's a huge area. It says that there's a high risk that any flight in the surrounding area can come in contact with one of these beams. So the tests are going to be coming out of White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. And the FAA is going to be alongside of them. So it's going to be Joint Task Force, interagencies, high energy laser tests is what they're dubbing this. So, and that was just for the 7th and the 8th. Again, the NOTAM they put up runs all the way into the summer. So if you guys got anything on that, let me know. Dabu7@yahoo.com. I'll update. Off to an Antifa activist that tries to light a flag on fire and instead sets himself on fire.
Oh, what an idiot. Wow, fire.
kind of short lived. He wouldn't be walking around like he saw Joe Cool. He was still on fire. Let me tell you that. But yeah, people thought it was comical. He tried to light the flag on fire and it came back on him and lit him up. It didn't look like he got lit up too much. It looked like it was the flag fell on him on fire. Either way, on to the next one. 2 radicals arrested after targeting anti-Islam NYC protest, and they did so with like bombs. They had shrapnel, packed devices. So NYPD saying both suspects have been ID'd. This is outside of Gracie Mansion. They say that there was a jar wrapped in black tape with nuts and bolts and screws and a fuse inside. So, run this. Okay, so that device right there, yeah, like IEDs and like little bombs, basically. So that looked to be potentially a Muslim individual right there. So again, you've got individuals protesting against some of the Muslim stuff, and they're countered by this, by the violence and bombs. Yeah, well, here's one that's probably going to leave some people get your laugh in for the night. Here, Joe Biden's back. I mean, the gaff machine. Here he is. I got to play a clip, man. The man in the mask, if that's what it is. Whatever it is here.
Well, as a kid, I was a relatively good athlete, a pretty good student, but I stuttered to talk like that. Now, if I told you all earlier when I was a kid I had a cleft palate or a club foot, none of you would have laughed. But it's okay to laugh at stuttering. I'm not being critical of you, but think about it. It's the one place where people think you're stupid. Oh, really? I'm a hell of a lot smarter than most of you. But all kidding aside.
What the? I don't know, man. This character. Convinced, man. They played America big time for 4 years. Check this one out. You've got, they're not saying the names, but they're admitting that cabinet members out of Trump's cabinet are buying nuclear bunkers. And I don't know, this guy might want to. I was thinking about this business wise. I don't know if he wants to even say things like this. Maybe he thinks it's going to bring him more business. But if I was someone going through him buying, I wouldn't want him out there talking. And if I'm part of the cabinet that just bought, I wouldn't want him out here saying none of this stuff. This Ron Hubbard of Atlas Survival Shelters reports being inundated with calls since this whole thing with Iran popped off. And whenever there's war, that's going to happen. But he's trying to use it as like a selling point that he's got a couple cabinet members, which are new customers. And again, if I'm cabinet's only so big, there's only so many people, and like people could start going down the list. I'd be pretty pissed off for anyone that was trying to stay quiet about this, to be honest with you, because the whole thing with this is secrecy and stuff like that. Like if you're gonna do this, like you don't want no one to know nothing about anyone, the builder, like anything, right? Because that can lead to a lot of stuff. If you find out who the builder is, you can find out the designs. There might be a security flaw in the design. The design may give away what the air shaft looks like. And if you can go plug someone's air shaft in a bunker, you can kill them. You see, like, this is, not smart, in my opinion. It's a huge security breach, and he needs to like shut his mouth. Like, I just feel like he's out here trying to get. He's trying to use it as like a selling point. Like, look, guys, you guys should come buy a bunker for me. I got cabinet members buying it for me. You see, I could see it from the sell point, but again, from a customer standpoint, I'd be pissed off, especially singling them out like that. The cabinet's not all that big, man. And I don't know. It puts a spotlight actually on a small number of people again, and that's the one thing that jumps out at me. But here's a look at what it looks like. You don't want to spend your life in a bunker. Fort Knox, look at that door. I mean, it's going to be good to have one, right? But like, the reality is, and see, there's the air shaft. See how the air see, this is what I'm talking about. If someone knows that you've got a bunker on a property, you just don't know where it's underground. Well, dude, the big air tubes or the big tubes sticking up out of the ground are going to be a dead giveaway. Okay? Like, what someone's got to do is come over and plug it. And like, that forces you to have to come out of the bunker. And then you're open to taking shots and everything else. It's a nightmare, man. There's a lot more to it than just that can become someone's coffin if they're not careful. Again, if people know, if bad people on the outside, you got a horde of people know. Imagine 50 people are standing outside up here and they know you're in there, and they just they could do more than stuff the air vent. They could poison the air vent. You have to think about these things, man. And not only that, they could put rocks or one huge boulder on top of your door on the way out. You're never getting out. Becomes your coffin. Yeah, and you got a little camera sitting there watching the whole thing, whatever. They'll probably take that out, but you'd be sitting there watching it, and there's nothing you could do. You could see if they put a huge rock over the door, and there's nothing you could do. That would be horrific. Things to think about, man. I'm telling you, some people think this getting the bunker is you have got to have it in a good location. Location is paramount. And then secrecy when it comes to a bunker. Come on now, man. But people this day and age like to show things off. I know there was this moron that went and had stuff done. He had like a hidden room built in his home and like posted it on social media, trying to show it off. Again, that's what all some people do. It's all just for show off. And it's like, why would you do that? Why would you show the whole world, tell the whole world you've got a secret room in your house? Again, you were showing off. And now the whole world knows it's there. With guns in it, probably, that are illegal, that you shouldn't have, and everything else. But some people are just idiots, man. Don't be an idiot. All right, the U.S. military says they're going to up the production of bombs, and they're going to have to at this point. War's a racket. It's all about making that money, but we're using a lot of expensive bombs to counter cheap drones. This is why if a war extends with Iran like this, they can do this all day. They got low-grade drones and missiles, and not to mention they've got Russia and China on the back end. Keep feeding them all day long. Like, they can play this game all day long. And they're at the advantage because this is like low-level stuff. It's just been like taking up space in the warehouse. They're sending, and some of it's still getting through, toward Israel. And I'd say Israel right now seems to be the primary target because Iran did come out and say, look, we're sorry to all of our neighbors that got hit, but you house the enemy. From here on out, not going to target you unless something comes from your territory. Like Saudi Arabia, Dubai, all those places, Bahrain, None of their infrastructure or nothing's going to get hit unless something comes from there. So that's kind of where they're sitting with it right now. It doesn't change. Even if they quadruple right now, it's going to take time to get all those bombs up to speed. It's ironic that they're running out of weapons here. In this past week, they were trying to run stories out there that it was the opposite, that Iran was running out of weapons, and that's far, far, far from the truth. They're nowhere near running out of weapons. They got them for days right now. All right, let's jump into the next one. 9:22. All right. We'll play this clip of Jesse Jackson's son pretty much going off on all these Obama types and all these others that used his funeral for a political prop, basically.
Dad believed that funerals were not for the dearly departed. He believed funerals were for the living. He believed that they were great gathering meetings. And no two life or lives in human history will have the same number of people attending their funerals, or the same people will be at their funerals, because your friends ain't my friends ain't your friends. We don't know the same people. You don't know the same people that I know. Do not bring your politics out of respect to Reverend Jesse Jackson and the life that he lived to these homegoing services. Right. Come respectful and come to say thank you. But these homegoing services are welcome to all. Democrat, Republican, liberal, and conservative, right wing, left wing, because his life is broad enough to cover the full spectrum of what it means to be an American. We only ask people to come and be respectful in the context of the extraordinary life that he lived. Dad would have wanted us to have a great meeting to discuss our differences, to find ways of moving forward and moving together. And if his life becomes a turning point in our national political discourse, amen.
So that was directed again to all the people that politicized, like Obama. They got up there and used it to bash Trump, right? It's, yeah. Hey, Yan, thank you for the coffee. First one there of the night, and I appreciate the support more than you know. Thank you to the fullest. All right, so he's pretty. I'd be pissed too. It needs to be said. Oh, we got a piece here on Senator John Kennedy, not the John Kennedy you're thinking of. He was basically trying to say that Trump had no choice but to strike Iran. I'm not going to play the clip because it's long, but I don't know, man. I don't agree with all this crap. All war's a racket. I don't trust no politician. I'm just going to skip over that. We're going to go into the Epstein stuff here. David Copperfield. You guys remember him? I remember back in the day, you know, when it come to magic and magic shows, I mean, he was all the talk. He was making like bridges disappear. I always knew it was garbage. Like anything on video, I'm like, man, that's smoke and mirrors, literally, with this can. And then later there was that Chris something out of Vegas that walked the pyramid. And there's all these magician dudes that I always thought had a deep satanic connection. And when I heard that Copperfield was in the Epstein stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, like you're not going to be able to make this disappear, buddy. And he can't. One thing he did disappear, though, is his 25-year Vegas residency. So he's selling things. He's going into hiding. That will be the rest of his days. It's tainted now. He's older, and he'll spend the rest of his days like out of the spotlight, in hiding, so to speak. And better hope that, like, he's paid his dues to the club, because if they pull his card, he could be one thrown under the bus. I mean, he's mentioned all these times in many different circles, and well, just like everyone else, they're getting shamed and they're stepping down from like their spots, but no one's going to jail. And that really pisses me off. I'm going to play this clip. Look at Bill Clinton's freaking face here. Like, this guy, again, he's old. He's barely hanging in there. We're lucky to even have him in these depositions. Again, the depositions are like what? Even if you catch him in a lie in there, no one goes to jail. Like, I don't even know. It's like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Where does anyone go to jail in this? Seriously. But this is a little clip here. I'm going to play. Nancy Mace is grilling him, and like the look on his face and everything she's saying, you just wonder what's going through his mind here. All the memories probably conjured up as she's saying all these things. And he's got to act like he don't know nothing here. Like,
the witnesses who testified in the Epstein cases, that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say something about him?
Why would Epstein say that about
So she's asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein...
Hold on. This one right here. This is a highly trained on it person. I could tell immediately she ain't playing this any trap business. Like, as a lawyer, she cut right through it, because she knows that just any delay or facial expression or anything in Bill, which is what I was immediately looking for, is going to be a tell. And she cut it down. She immediately drew the attention to her, and she repeated, and she's on it. You can tell by her energy she's on it. I'm going to back it up. Let it go here.
Cases that Epstein said, you quote, like them young. Why would Epstein say that about you?
Are you asking his opinion? You're asking him to think about why Mr. Epstein would say something about him?
Why would Epstein say that about
So she's asking you to try to be in Mr. Epstein's mind and guess at what Mr. Epstein would have thought about.
Clinton likes them young, referring to girls.
First of all, that's not true.
Busted, motherfucker.
That I have any
Everyone, you're busted, fool. Look at you.
interest in underage.
I didn't say underage. I said young.
But it's still not true.
Is an intern young?
Man, cuff him.
Yes.
Cuff his.
At my age, anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness?
He wouldn't be. I'm sorry. I'm losing it. And I didn't realize I was unmuted there for a second. But dude, like this clown, he's sitting there sipping his coffee. I don't think so. Like, put him in cuffs. Gone. Like this clown. Ugh. Just, they got way more on him here, but I just had to get that out of the system, I guess. But I don't think you're ever gonna get to the really hard stuff. And he's sipping that coffee like he's untouchable now, because I'm telling you, these lawyers sitting right next to him are like jackals. They're not. They seem to be pretty good. I'll give them that.
To deny you were ever on his island?
Wow, look at this cup.
He didn't have to since I was never.
Back.
Yes. At my age, anybody younger than I am.
Did you know Jeffrey Epstein instructed a witness to deny you were ever on his island?
Oh, wow.
He didn't have to since I was never there.
Did you ever travel to Zorro Ranch?
He said he was never there.
Is that the one in New Mexico?
Yes.
No.
Okay. Have you ever flown on anyone else's private jet 26 times or more for overseas trips?
I have flown as many miles on other jets, but never with as many stops.
how many other people's planes have you used, like Epstein 26 times or Miles, etc.?
I don't know. I did with Steve Bean, who's now deceased, and probably with 4 or 5 others.
Okay. So maybe about a half dozen billionaires total. So how many dinners did you have with Ghislaine Maxwell or Jeffrey Epstein in attendance?
She's asking to the best of your recollection.
I have no idea.
Okay. Did you ever discuss sexual misconduct allegations made against you with Epstein or Maxwell?
Never.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer to help manage or silence women who made sexual misconduct allegations against you?
No.
Did Epstein or Maxwell ever offer financial support directly or indirectly to legal defense funds related to impeachment proceedings or civil actions against you?
Not to my knowledge.
Do you think a young girl massaging a president is unusual?
So are you asking his opinion?
Well, he was massaged by a young woman. I'm asking if he thinks it's unusual that a president, sitting president of the United States, leader of the free world, that
So
it's
I'm sorry.
unusual.
Are you speaking to? Are you talking to the instance of the
Yes, is it unusual that
the
a
back
young woman would be
massage
massaging?
that occurred while he was not president? I'm just trying to understand. You said a president of the United States.
Former president.
Thank you. Just trying to make sure we're correcting the
Are
time
you
frame.
filibustering?
No, I don't need
Okay.
to. I'm actually trying to make
I
sure
think
that
I'm
as
pretty
you
clear. He said he
you
knows what
said he
young-
was a sitting president.
Excuse me, could we just please go one at a time? Thank you.
You said a sitting president. I want you to be clear so that when he answers
Former
you,
sitting
the
president. How
record
do
is
you want
clear.
to do it? Is it unusual?
I have no idea if it's unusual.
Objection calls for speculation.
I figured. Did you ever think that all these women around Jeffrey Epstein or Ghislaine Maxwell was odd, unusual, weird, or creepy?
There weren't all that many around when I was there.
How many would you say
Oh, I
is all,
thought you
not
said
all that
you
many?
weren't there.
I think on this big plane that was working long hours, having 2 to 4 people on there, I thought was, as far as I knew, they were all helping.
Flight attendants in tank tops and jeans? Right.
No.
Do you believe you were a victim of a Jeffrey Epstein intel operation? Do you think that you might have been caught up in some of what he was maybe potentially doing?
Excuse me, Congressman, which question are you asking?
I'm asking
Intel
if the
operation?
First of all, I don't.
Some type of intel operation. I'm just curious because it's been speculated on today and yesterday
I understand.
that he may have been an intel asset. Do you think, perhaps knowing what we know now, the proclivity of it all, that he may have been targeting you as part of an intel operation?
I doubt it.
Okay. In 2019, you stated, after he was arrested, I guess this would be the second time, you stated you knew nothing of Epstein's, quote, terrible crimes since you only met, quote, briefly on only, quote, 2 occasions. Was this statement false?
Excuse me, Congressman,
That's not an accurate statement. Can you please share us what you're saying?
Yes. In 2019, as reported by the media.
Which
I don't know. They were tearing into him there. He looked guilty as sin, if you ask me. But again, when he's surrounded by lawyers and that's the best I think you're ever going to get in terms of look, man, I'm sick of all this Hillary. Ain't going to stop until they lock up Bill and Hillary. Man, it frustrates me. I've been doing this for a long time. I've sat there and watched Trump use his whole first term. He used Hillary for prison. It was all a sham. All of it's been a sham. It's all sham, right? It's garbage, man. And Trump even said he didn't want to lock him up. So I don't think anything's ever going to happen with the whole Epstein thing. They're just going to sweep it under the rug from here. And that will probably be it. All right, on to some of the war stuff. We've got the 7th soldier killed in Operation Epic Fury. This is a soldier out of Kentucky. Fallen hero, 26-year-old Sergeant Benjamin Pennington, died from his wounds following an attack on troops in Saudi Arabia. It took place on the 1st. Look, you guys know how I feel. I tell you, don't have your kids signing up for this beast to go over and fight in these senseless wars where they end up getting killed. But I sure as hell am not going to dog someone that put their life on the line to go defend this country Because I have people like I shared this article on X, and someone's like, "Duh, what a coward!" Like, and like, or just running their mouth, and I'm like, "Listen, dude, you just like shut your mouth and just sit down." Because like someone that for period, they gave their life out there in their mind for defending this country. Ultimate sacrifice is way more than what you ever do. So we can all sit here and agree that yeah, it's not a smart thing to do and this and that, but still, I'm not going to take no disrespect, no one disrespecting the fallen like this, because in the flesh, it wouldn't be pretty. But social media, there's a lot of keyboard warriors out here. They talk a lot of smack that they would never talk in the flesh. But RIP to all the fallen. Again, I tell you, first and foremost, don't let your kids sign up for the beast. You need to tell them and teach them who the real bad guys are first and foremost, period. But for those that are in there serving, a lot of them are in there serving with the good intention of protecting the country. And it's a lot more than what others are doing. So, which is sad, is like a lot of these guys are really young. And when you're young, that's where they get you, because you don't know any better. You think you're doing the right thing. You know, when I was young, how many people I watched see the towers get hit 9/11, and how many signed up and went to war? You know, just because of that event. You know, how many dudes, how many guys I went to high school with, how many of my buddies had to go over there. And I'll never forget, I had one really good buddy growing up, ended up working with him. Last I'd seen of him, and when I was working with him, I could tell something wasn't right. Because he came back from Iraq in tours, and I was teaching him all the stuff on a printing press, and this one night he just told me in the back, like he's a bad dude. He's a brick shit house. He's a bad dude. Wasn't soft by no means, and he like broke down, and he was all over the question. It was just a simple question in the conversation. That got thrown out there. I think there was someone else standing there about having to kill someone. And when a soldier, I think, hears that, you're instantly, this instant flashback to a bad place is what I get from it. And like I mean, that's what I saw. I mean, and he said, yeah, he had to kill, and he wasn't proud of it. And I could see it tore him apart. I could see it like shattered his soul, to where he could barely say it. And that's the pain of a soldier that goes and fights for this beast, and then wakes up, you know, realizing, man, like I screwed up, like I just shot some innocent dude defending his homeland. Like, what? Yeah. It hurt. It sucked. It's a crazy thing. I watched the whole experience and awakening and the pain and all of it. And his anger at the system, a system that he felt let down by. He was going through mental stuff. He was trying to get help, and he felt like the government just didn't care. And like so many other people, he felt like he was just used. He was used for that moment and thrown to the side. Sucks, man. This world, man. This is what to do. Look at Ukraine, man. Ukraine is nasty. They're kidnapping young men off the street, out of the gym, out of the shop, out of the backyard mowing, off their bikes. They're abducting them in broad daylight and sending them forcefully to the front lines to get killed, knowing they're going to get killed. Like the survival rate is like nothing. Like they're just getting mauled. Send them into a trench line where the bodies are stacking up. it's like almost guaranteed death. Like some of these places, some of the stuff going on out there, it's not good, man. I was talking to Tacos about that earlier. Like a lot of people don't watch these clips daily. Like I didn't watch any today, but like I was telling him how I've been desensitized to it because I just have. Someone like me, I remember the first time I ever saw someone killed in a video. It was like Faces of Death or something years ago, back when that series was popular, back when I was a kid, like a teenager. It affected me bad, like, you know, like it should. There shouldn't be anything normal about, you know, seeing someone die and being used to it. But, dude, I see so many people blown away by drones in trenches every single day. It's in like just the drones hitting the vehicle and hitting the people and then blowing them apart. And like if anyone's on the ground moving, they'll blow them apart. And like it's almost like a video game. It's freaking, it's crazy. Especially when they go to the black and white, they go to thermal and all this stuff, and they're watching from a drone. They'll have drones just sitting up there watching while the other drones are in there doing killing. That's right now. This is what this country's not ready for it. If an enemy was to attack and start causing hell here, that's the stuff that they would start doing. Drones would be used large scale. It reminds me of that Obama movie. Remember all the Iranian flags got dropped? Oh, it's nuts from the drones. It's almost, we'll see here. Let's jump into Iran. They're saying that Trump has offered asylum to the Iranian women's soccer team. Interesting. And more talk of Putin being I don't know, this savior that's going to save the day in this whole thing somehow. And he may get the accolade for it. I don't know. But he's no friend of Europe. And I don't know where Ukraine's going to go in this whole thing. But it's kind of clear that as long as Trump's in there, he's making a push to pull away. Now, if he does not get us completely detached from Ukraine by the time his administration's over, I hate to say it, man, but it's got all the feels, man. The Gavin Newsom is their man for our next president. I know it sucks. I'm not even going down all that this crap, but if this happens, then we'll never get out of there because he'll take us right back into everything. He'll go right back into what the left wants and all this other crap. And it's just like, all this was for nothing. It's all it's been like the past freaking whole time. Like one administration's in there and does something, the next one to get in there can undo it. It just makes no sense to me. And we all know they're on the same team, but we all know war's a racket. But at some point here, they're going to play out huge war is the thing. You see, these guys are religious fanatics, and they want to usher in the Mahdi. Do you understand? They want to usher in like the end time stuff here and get this thing going. They want it to happen. So it can only happen with big war. That's why I don't know if this Iran thing's gonna. I just don't see it. Let me jump into this here. Like, we've got, first off, the school that got hit and 150 schoolgirls got killed. U.S. Navy did the strike. We've got a new pick for the supreme leader of Iran. It is Ayatollah Khamenei's son that you see right here. And I told you this, I said this when I put out a video, but they retracted it after it got out. Here's the thing, obviously, if they know where he's at, they're going to bomb him. And they've given all the signs. There was even word tonight that there was another bombing and he was injured in it. So he is the successor. And I'm telling you, my soul tells me there's going to be blowback from this here. Big time. Big time. First off, the Ayatollah, we killed him. Soleimani was one thing, but killing this man right here, killing him, spiritually, it's war. Like, there's dudes that are like taking up the arms and prayers and like going on soul divine destined missions, kamikaze, because of this. Because that's what this guy meant to them. Religiously, spiritually. He was more than just like a leader. Like Gaddafi was big. I give him praise all the time because how he fought against the beast. But he was nowhere, even though Gaddafi was the closest thing we ever had that I've seen as a world leader with the money, the military, the asset, all the connections to take on the beast, and he couldn't even do it. Okay, but he was not a spiritual leader. Okay, this man fills that gap. This is like different. Okay, dudes have waged jihad, vowed jihad because of this. So you can't just say, oh, we struck them and sleep easy at night, thinking that when you go to the ball game or the soccer match coming up that everything's going to be great like it always has been, safe and all this. No, you're going to have to start watching because targets are going to be put on these places. I'm telling you, in the soccer matches especially, I feel like they're going to get hit. They showed us this, for crying out loud, on the Rothschild magazine cover of the Economist. It's all there, man. The soccer matches are like prime targets in my mind. They're having them down in Mexico. Well, let's zoom in there. You got the whole cartel thing going on there. Can you imagine coupling not only a cartel problem, but this whole jihad thing with it, like literally in the same city, the same energy, the same, like you're destined for something crazy to happen. It doesn't help that down there in Mexico where they're planning on holding one of these freaking official soccer matches is a place where they found like dozens of bodies buried, like right there in the field in the stadium. Like, get out of here. Like, man, the killing's bad. All I'm saying is like it's no thing anymore. They drop bombs like it's no thing. And the way Trump sees this is he gets away with doing all this. It's not war. If he just strikes them for like a couple weeks and he backs away. As long as he do it, like get it all done like in less than 30 days, he doesn't have to go through Congress. But once he hits a certain window of time, he has to go through Congress. See, that's what Obama was supposed to do with Libya, but he didn't. He bypassed Congress, which was illegal all the way, and he should be held accountable for it, but he's not. They went in and they killed Gaddafi and all that stuff, but you best believe that Trump and his administration are watching this from stop and think about this. They are watching these strikes in HD, real time, from drones and satellites, every single strike. Like, insane. Like, the detail that they're watching all this. I mean, Hillary and Obama sat there and watched Gaddafi get killed in the streets. The same thing by drone back then. So you know the Trump administration is doing it in even higher grade technology. From every angle, every missile launch, zoomed in, real time, boom, boom, boom. Watch them all get killed, real time. I mean, he's sitting there in his war room with all the people, all this information, and like he knows what the setup was. If you guys don't know, let me just tell you what happened. The only reason they killed Khomeini is because they lowered him out in a trap. They faked like all the Israelis were going on a religious holiday, like for dinner or this and that, but they snuck back to their compound and they stuck back to their spot where they fired the missiles. Well, Iran took the bait. they seen them leaving and knew that it was a religious holiday and were assuming that they were dipping, and they were like, look, we're going to take advantage of this. We're going to go for a meeting. That was the trap. That was it. Soon as he came up out of his bunker and came into the palace, they watched him. They watched the heat signatures come up out of ground with their technology. They watched them come up out of tunnels into the building, through the building, with their technology, and was able to see that like dozens of them emerged into the palace. And as soon as they seen that, they gave the orders for the B-52s to launch. They used a new state-of-the-art Blue Dawn or something missile that is launched from our stealth bombers. It goes up into space, gets above its target, and comes screaming down, basically from space, out of space, at as fast speed as it possibly can, straight down into it, onto its target. And that's how they killed all of them. I'm telling you, any footage from it is going to be destructive. We have yet to see any of that. We've yet to see any of it, of that strike. Which is kind of odd, because usually the military is out there ready to show off every single strike, like specifically. They showed the compound and this and that, but like, I don't know, maybe we'll see more here. I guess there's strategically there'd be reasons not to put out certain stuff right now. They're still at war. But this is the alleged leader, at least tonight. If they kill him tonight or tomorrow, there will be another one. And they'll have to keep him hidden. I mean, come on, they're taking him out. Here's the big thing, and I was asking Tacos the same thing. I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, why is the president not getting hit? It doesn't, they're not headhunting him in his palaces or anything else. The president of Iran, he's giving these videos. He came out and said, oh, they don't want to come here. They don't want a ground invasion. They won't win it. And gave a smirk. Like, what about him? What about the interview he gave? Like, he hasn't been targeted. None of that's been talked about. It makes no sense. Like, why is that guy just floating around, not a target? Huh? Dude, the freaking world is a stage, man. So the U.S., Tulsi Gabbard and her clowns, they have admitted that a massive attack is unlikely to oust the regime, which means that this will be a long, drawn-out, prolonged war if they really want regime change. It would have to be a ground war. There will be a lot of death. It would be everything no one wants. I seen a poll tonight, and like, this is like the most hated war already of any president, ever. It's so bad for Trump, it's terrible. That's why they're talking about wrapping it up. But that's if there's a need to. Like, if you're at a point to where this man is in there to do certain things, then he's in there to do certain things. It doesn't matter about saving face. You don't need Trump to look good anymore. You had to keep him looking good the first term because you needed him in there for a second term. You had to have people still liking him. But now he's not going to run again. It's done. The gloves are off. He can do all the bad things he was sent to do. And like, everyone can bitch all they want. What are you going to do about it? You see, like, and he's doing it. He's doing it. He's doing it. He's ushering in the police state here. I mean, this is Mr. Warp Speed. Let's not forget. And he has struck more countries as a setting precedent than anyone in history. With missiles. It's nuts. I tweeted it out. The image. Like 9 different places. I don't know, man. In the meantime, Israel's over here bombing everyone around them still. Lebanon, threatening Syria, and Jordan getting threatened. They got their eye on the Sinai. They want all this area for greater Israel, and it's not a secret. They've admitted it. But how are you going to get all that? How are you going to get all that from Jordan? Can you go topple Jordan, a peaceful ally, just like Lebanon? maybe United States doesn't take crap. They don't care about the people in Lebanon. They don't care about the people in Gaza and Palestine. This is about they're taking all these people out. And like, dude, if you care for life and humanity, you're against this genocide all over the place. That's what it is. It's ridiculous, man. But Trumpers over there, MAGA over there, too much winning, too much bodies dropped. It's ridiculous. Wait till the tables turn. They're going to be the hunted. That's the thing. Anyone that voted for Trump, you're on the books. They're going to know that, and you're going to be persecuted. All MAGA will be. You watch. You watch. You watch. He just did it to Antifa and the left and all their group. You don't think they're not going to go after MAGA and label MAGA itself directly a terrorist organization? Just like they did Antifa? Why would they not? Why would they not? Trump already put the rule on the book, the executive order. When the left gets in there and gets to use it, it's going to be irony. It's going to be crazy. They're going to become the hunted. Why do you think so many different ones are sitting there arrogantly saying it? Because they know it. Like Susan Rice, she warned it because she knows. They know the deep state. They know the back and forth, the left-right paradigm. They know eventually someone from the left will be put back in there. Probably Newsom. And because people are hating Trump and hating J.D. Vance's face so much. Like, they're going to make J.D. Vance's face so hateable by the time the election gets here that, like, it's going to be a walk in the park for Newsom. You see what I'm saying? If Trump wrecks the economy and does all the stuff, like, they're already talking the midterms being flipped and all this other crap, and they're putting projected polls out between J.D. Vance and Newsom, and they're only separated by, like, a couple percentage points. A couple. Like, get out of here. Like, it's a setup. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I've been doing this long enough. I can see how they're doing it. So Trump tonight floats the idea of ending the war in Iran after this mysterious call with Vladimir Putin. Him and old Putin. I'm telling you, behind the scenes, these guys are best buds for real. Like, the U.S. and Russia, I know they are. I mean, we won World War II, and we know the racket. They both sell military equipment from each side, and you can't make money if there's not war. So as long as these guys didn't care about loss of life, they didn't care about that. They cared about making money. They obviously don't care about war. They'll drop bodies all day long. So it's like a perfect pact. Like, they cover both bases. Like the West and like Israel and their allies, that they've got all their equipment that they make, but then Russia's got the equipment that they make and they sell to their allies. And it's a different system, a totally different system, So when you get to places like India and Turkey that were buying weapons off of the U.S. and Russia, they get in a bind because their systems are not compatible. Okay. But it's a benefit to both Russia and the United States, both war machines, because that's all they're setting out to do. They want to sell all their allies, all their neighbors and all their allies, their buddies, weapons. That's the whole ploy. And when you've got real war popping off, like in Ukraine, it's a constant thing. I've got an update right now. And thank you, Deanne, for this email. A lockdown at a U.S. Air Force base in Louisiana. A shelter in place reported. Let me get this pulled up here. Breaking news here. Top of the hour, exactly 10 o'clock. We'll cover this and I'll wrap up on the war front and we'll call it a night. Saying here.
Barksdale is investigating a report of a drone over the Air Force Base this morning. In tonight's top story, a spokesperson for Barksdale Air Force Base says They received a report of an unmanned aerial system operating over the installation. The incident is being investigated in coordination with local authorities and the Federal Aviation Administration. It is illegal to operate a drone over a military installation under state and federal law. Violators could result in significant fines and imprisonment. The spokesperson says, quote, "We retain the right to protect our installation and will continue monitoring our airspace to address any threats to our mission or personnel."
Now, I know how serious they get with this stuff. I'm a drone operator, right? And I want the truth, and I got it for that reason, to get the truth. And we're curious to want to know a lot, right? Well, you know, I'm not setting out to like break any laws or do anything, but if I can go observe something, I'm going to observe it. And just like Area 51, we can observe it from afar, but you're not flying over it, right? That's a big difference. Well, I was down in Florida, and there was a big, there was an installation, like aerostat type of installation down by Southern Florida and the Keys that was down off this road. And it was just interesting. And I was already getting drone in the air, getting footage of all the islands down there. And you could see this thing, you know, when you're in the air, it's like, boom, it's like, what the? And like, I flew kind of toward it, kept my distance, you know, and did a report on it. Like, well, you know, what is this thing? You come to find out it was one of the aerostats. Well, I had got a little email on it out of Florida about my video on it. That was, you know, as close as one can come to an installation, you know, without breaking the law or anything. I'm like, oh, wow. Well, you know, I was way far back, and I didn't even go over it or close to it at that point. You get to see it in the distance, but it was enough to have prompt the warning that, like, yo. And with my drone, they've stopped me from even flying in certain areas. They've taken it down. There's like a geofence in certain areas, like whether you know or not. Once you hit it, your drone's coming down. Up in Cleveland, RNC, I tried to take off from top of a parking garage because it was a good spot to take off, get killer footage, and I couldn't take off. They grounded me. I was like, what the? And then another incident, Northern Kentucky, All-Star game, happened Cincinnati, right across the river. I flew a drone flight, and they were watching. I put it on YouTube. It was perfect drone flight, beautiful. From top of Covington's hill, over all the city lights, right through the Golden Balls, on top of the bridge, right across the river, right on up to the river, and I stopped above the river and just looked, you know, it had the whole thing in pan right there from above the river. Never went over the stadium. I posted that video the next day. A lot of people liked it. This and that. That evening, the news put out an alert that anyone that tries to fly a drone during the All-Star game will be put in prison, like hard threats. They went as far as to say that if anyone even launched a drone on that day from their backyard in Northern Kentucky, that they would get in trouble. I'd never seen such a severe threat in my life. And I knew it was directed at me, right? You won't believe it. The All-Star game begins. These SOBs started, like CBS, whatever. The All-Star game begins. As soon as they're doing their flyover Cincinnati, guess what they do? They followed my exact drone flight through the Golden Balls on the bridge, everything, right up to the stadium, and did my move. Did it all while daring us to not even launch our drone. And see, we did nothing wrong. The reason that they could do nothing or say nothing to me is because I played by all the rules. I didn't go over the crowd. I didn't even go over the stadium. Stayed out over the water, way up in the air. It's just the fact that, I don't know, they did that. It was like they rubbed it in my face. I knew that it was meant, like, directed at me. I was the one that did it. That was my flight. That was my flight. You know what I'm saying? And, like, they mocked it. They mocked it to let me know it was directed at me. Do you see what I'm saying? So I knew. I knew it. I knew all that was because of me. It's nuts, right? In a drone. And the freedom of a drone. Like, I did everything legit. 100%. And again, when you're in an area where you're not supposed to be, there's a GeoNet and it would down you. And let me finish with this. New York City. I went up there. Beautiful New York City. I've got some of the best drone footage of my life from up there. Full moon. This is perfect. Well, while I had the drone up there, the wind shifted. And I come to find out New York City's got a bubble over it. You can't see it. It's a technological bubble, a dome. And my drone drifted out by like 5-10 feet. That's it. Out of the bubble. I could see it. It was right there. It wasn't out of my range because I'd flown this thing far. It was right there. I could see it. I couldn't control it. It was out of my control. And I'm losing it at this point. Like, are you kidding me? Like, oh my God. And it's like, I'm down in the Southern Bay, right below where the towers went down near the water. And this thing's just drifting south on me, like out over the water, like way out. I'm like, dude, what is going on? And like, I thought it was all lost, but the wind caught it in like, I'm watching it. I'm like just watching it. I'm not controlling it, it's watching. I'm watching the wind push it and it pushed it back in toward me. And when it did, I had my controls back. And I was like, hold on, like what just happened? And I ended up getting it down and all that. Crazy footage, crazy experience, even more to the story than that. But I did a little research right afterwards, and I come to find out that it's publicly known that they have over New York City technological barrier is what they call it. You can't see it. It's a dome. It's a technological dome. And I experienced it with the drone. The drone is probably the best thing to show it exists because it's invisible. And it showed me perfectly. And it was just by luck. Because if the wind wouldn't have blew it back, it was gone. It was gone. Drone would have drifted out there till the battery died, would have came down in the water, it was gone. And I've taken the drone 10 times as far, like out in different areas, out over the ocean, all types of stuff. Like I knew something wasn't right. So just remember, New York City can't be the only one like that. I've heard in the past that also LA was set up like that as well. But yeah, man. Thank you for the update though on that Air Force base being locked down in Louisiana. Drone incursions, man. I think we'll see more of them. I don't understand it though. Remember what I just said. Anytime I would go anywhere near an installation, the geofence would take down the drone or like knock it out, like disorient it. It makes me wonder here. Are these weaponized, like big military drones, the same one that Uncommon News has been picking up down there? It very well could be. When he gets this device done and does what he does with it and all this, I'm gonna let you guys in on all this stuff. And it seems the home front has become a war front. Obviously, the front lines is down there on that border right now. So anyone that's down there, man, if you got any footage or if you see anything crazy going on, let me know. Like to keep people in the loop. Trump, after just saying that there's an end in sight for Iran, threatens harder strikes. Then he says he's going to open up the Straits of Hormuz and no one's going to do anything about it. But he's not going to be able to end the war without Israel. he admits that it will be a mutual decision. So, of course, they're trying to make it look 50-50, but he can't do it without his boss, so to speak, because that's what it comes down to. We'll see what happens in the coming days. It's either going to happen like this or it's not. I feel like they're either going to get out of this whole thing within like the next week because of the whole Congress thing. And he even said it tonight. He said that, look, they don't have anything. This is what he's saying. He's saying that we took out their Navy. We took out their communications. We took out the regime tops. Like, they're done. Like, it'd take them like 10 years to come anywhere near rebuilding back, is what he's saying. And he's like, I feel like we're done. Like, all their ships, their entire Navy, all their ships are sitting at the bottom of the ocean. And he's right in a lot of these aspects. The only thing that they didn't get is they didn't get the regime change they wanted. And really, unless you want to go in there with boots on the ground and like Rambo it, I don't know if you win that fight. Yeah, you can do what Israel does and just carpet bomb like the hell out of everywhere until you turn into Gaza. They could do that, but that's not going to win them any points here. Like, he's already suffering. This is like going to tarnish his legacy. I don't think he's liking it at all. I don't think Trump is. So to get this thing over with sooner is better for them. But what? But how? I don't know if this is going to work out the way that they want. It's crazy as they kill everybody. They even killed the guys that they had picked to be the leader. They're so stupid. They're so ignorant. You got some prime picks there. The only prime picks, the only couple out of the whole thing to run this once you kill Ayatollah, but you can't even keep them alive. Like, makes no sense. So the U.S. is ordering Americans to get out of Turkey. This is a new one. A couple alerts here before I shut it down. And let me repeat that. They want Americans out of Turkey because the CIA is going to arm Kurds. Problem is, what's the next one say? The Kurds do not trust the U.S. at all. So, like, we don't have trust of, like, these other groups we used to. I don't know. They've used so many of these groups. They just use them and throw them to the side. Use them and throw them to the side. Use them. They create these groups as jihadist groups. Give them weapons. And then they're done with them. Throw them to the side and forget about them. And these guys get butthurt. They get pissed off. Like, you guys just use us and throw us to the side. And that's what's happening here. The Kurds feel used. And, like, they're sick of the game. They're like, we're not being used any longer. That's game changing, because if you don't have a ground force like that, then you've got to send in mercenary forces like black ops, like from the West, paid guns, hired guns to do it. Now, let me finish tonight with this warning. Okay. This is my warning for the immediate future. They are activating sleeper cells all over the place. Okay? And people need to be aware of this. Trump announces a coalition with Latin American leaders to eradicate cartels. So look, let me just name these places so you know who's like on our side, who they've scared into submission. Argentina. Notice Brazil's missing. Okay, so it's going to be Brazil's key when they're going to have to key in on here. But you got Bolivia, Chile, Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Honduras, Panama, Paraguay, Trinidad, and Tobago. All these places are on board with them. You know, when they went down there with the military and flexed and took out Maduro, they kind of put their guns on everyone. Like, anyone want it? Like, you either bow down or you're going to get it. all those places bowed down. Again, notice that Brazil wasn't mentioned. Brazil, all of a sudden, is standing out, singled out. Like a sore thumb. You remember me saying this because it seems significant. And they're part of BRICS. And they're like the one big chunk left down there. Like they're surrounding them. Like everyone else is bowing down, but not Brazil. Like, you think they stop there? I don't know, man. It's funny, though, how the whole North American technate does stop right there in Venezuela. It does stop right there before it enters into Brazil. The Amazon. And I think the Amazon has a large part to play in that. It's such a natural buffer zone. Can you imagine how much ancient history is hidden under the jungles of Amazon? Are you kidding me? LIDAR and all that. I mean, Mexico's the same way. I mean, everywhere is like that. I'm telling you. It don't just stop at America, at our border. It's here too. But I don't know. It's sad to me that all these places are war-torn. Can't even go anywhere anymore. Even Mexico. And here, the FBI says that they're investigating the cyber attacks that took place on their stuff, and they're trying to say the same thing. It's like coming from these attacks. What's this one say? Spillover from the Iran war. I just don't see us getting out of this without blowback. I just don't. The main thing we've got, how did you keep this place secure when they're already here and like ran up in here? I just don't get it.
Joining me now is the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Rick Crawford, who is a member of the Gang of Eight. And Mr. Chairman, good to have you this morning. As a member of the Gang of Eight, you are one of the few lawmakers who gets the top intelligence from the president, as you did with this war. And I remember talking with Devin Nunes when he was in the role years ago during the Russia collusion story, and I know how important your work is. Can you give us any intelligence about the Strait of Hormuz right now in terms of securing that waterway?
Yeah, so that's going to be a real challenge for us, not necessarily from a military perspective, but what you have is essentially the actuaries have said we're not going to write insurance on that anymore. So there's going to have to be some physical security measures implemented if we're going to continue to see that oil transiting through the Strait of Hormuz. This is not unlike what happened in 1988 when the Iranians mined the strait, and President Reagan had to take kinetic action to not only clear that lane, but also he struck the Iranian oil platforms in the process. And that was the beginning. I mean, we had been at war with Iran since 1947. That was the predicate of what you're seeing today. And finally, we have a president that says, not on my watch, we're going to do it. And end this regime and clear that Strait of Hormuz and make sure that the oil flows to the rest of the world is an important corridor because China gets somewhere in the neighborhood of 90% of the Iranian oil that comes through there goes to China.
Okay, we get that. You're going to clear the aisle. But here's the big thing. You just said that we've been fighting them since the 40s because of the regime that's there. You don't do all of this and not finish the job. Now, Mr. Flip-Flop Trump gave you 1,000 excuses. It started with, oh, they can't have nukes, and they bombed that, and then it was like, oh, we have to have regime change, and they had to go bomb Khomeini, and, you know, it's one thing after another when you're in the war phase, and it doesn't matter when they're just dropping bombs. They're just killing people left and right. This is not going to stop. Not, in my opinion, not in the near term, it's not. Anything, even if they come out and say, oh, they struck a deal, like, I don't even believe it. I believe it's just recalibrating, giving them time to reposition. And there's, as long as Khomeini's son is alive, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter until there is a person in there that they like. They are bombing. He made that clear. And that's not anytime soon. That's not anytime soon. So I don't know what they're going to do here with this. They can keep the oil lane open, like you just said. That's a vital thing there. But in terms of finishing this whole thing, the regime change, oh man, if that's what they really want, this is far from over. This is far from over. And the regime that's in there, they'll send every rocket they got at the beast, fighting it. You watch. It's nuts. So, I mean, all the warning signs are there, man. And thank you again, everyone there that was sending me the notifications there in the email. And thank you for joining. For another one here tonight. Jump over here to the chat. I want to thank anyone that shares the stream. Anyone that's sent a super chat. Anyone listening in over there on Rumble. Much love, everybody over there. Anyone on X tonight. Much love there as well. I don't get to see none of those messages. They don't pop up in the chat, but much love. I thank you to everyone for hanging out, for fighting a good fight. We're in crazy times indeed. If there's any big thing that I feel is going to happen here outside of this war, it's going to be, I feel like it's a banking economic event. I feel like that's the big thing coming our way. It's the reset. You know, that's projected for May. It could happen before then. Banks could fail. Like, I mean, and we see how rigged everything is. The metals, all this. Matter of fact, it's one thing I didn't get a run on tonight. Let me just pull up here on the side screen on the way out. Silver sitting at 90. So it's still below 100. Good luck to everybody out there trying to fill up, trying to get to 100 ounces. And hold it for the next decade. I don't know where we're going to go from here, man. This is definitely going to be the wild ride here. Crossing 2030 and beyond. It's 2035, like the next 10 years specifically. It's going to be wild. I think just this year from this point into 2027 is going to be loaded with events, left and right. And I think a lot of it's going to have to do with on the home front. So, yeah, again, thank you for anyone that hit the super chats tonight. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you to Yan again for the lone coffee for tonight. Appreciate it to the fullest. If you're not following me on X, make sure to follow me. I'm dropping stuff there every day, and please, if you're gonna follow me, check in over there, because look, man, I got people that I consider friends that are in groups with me over here that like you don't even see my posts. Like some of my closest people that are listening right now, even my mods, like and some of my close, they don't see my post. I will post, drop on X, and like throughout the day, I'll be the first one to post something, and like they'll come posting in the chat, in the group chat later, the same stuff that I've covered. And it's not a detriment to them or anything like that. It tells me they're not seeing, not even my closest cats are seeing what I'm dropping in the feed. I'm not in the feed. That's how they hide you. So you have to come to my channel to see what I've posted. And once you get there, you're gonna be like, damn. You're gonna be like, boom, all the stuff that's sitting there. That's how it's working. That's how the censorship is working. Okay. It's been the same way for YouTube for a long time. People have got to come to my channel to see that I'm posting, and it happens all the time. People show up like, oh man, I haven't seen you in years. Where you been? It's like I've been here posting every day. It's because you decided to stop in after all this time. You realized how bad I've been censored. So don't depend on notifications or any of that. I'm posting every day. And that's what I do. Live. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Eastern. As I always, the Lord doesn't return on time. Wednesday, Around World News Live. And what is that? Purpose beyond self. Wow. Appreciate that more than you know. For anyone that supports the work, the channel, everything I do, it's appreciated more than you know. This is step up and do it. Much love. Thank you so much for that. I'm gonna check a couple things here. Brazen, thank you for the follow. And thank you for all the folks that have rolled in over on X. I will also say, well, I think it has to do with I pay for a subscription or prescription or whatever it is there. I got my check mark back on X, and I was boycotting the whole thing, and doing what I do, but it wasn't helping me in doing what I do. Just like me not selling t-shirts and not promoting myself doesn't help me. It's me being stubborn, which I should do these things. But like, I don't know, man. I'm hitting as it is, as I said, when I paid for the $80 or whatever back and I got my check mark back, I did notice something though. It was like, I actually see in my notifications that like, this person's following me. I'm seeing a difference for whatever it's worth. And I sat at forever 56.7, 56.8 of K followers on X, like dead stopped, like hit a brick wall, wouldn't let me go nowhere. And like it's ticked up like 56.9 here. That's a difference that I haven't seen in years. That's how bad the censorship is on me, man. So like, again, I thank all of you that fight the fight, that understand it. I had somebody reach out to me, matter of fact, about the whole t-shirt thing. I thank you. And I forgot to reach back out. I should reach back out to them. I do need to promote us, the underground. We're the only ones to do it. I used to have shirts and stuff like that. I don't know. When you're me, like, it's always been the truth comes first. And if I've got to set the example, even to my own detriment, of not selling absolutely anything because these fools over here, these shills want to sell everything under the sun, male vitality, and like everything to you and your mom, like, I'm against that. And like, because that's a shill. They're using you and they're using the whole base, the whole crowd to make money. And that's the only reason they're here. And that's not the right intention. And that's the enemy. It always has been. And that's been my disdain for it. So that's what's got me in the corner of like, I don't even sell my own shirts because of my disdain for the enemy. But, because people keep asking me. And the music, I do got music up. It's not officially dropped on TuneCore yet. The new song, Yeah, with Teddy Ross. And thank you for the feedback. A lot of people liked it. Enjoy it. If you missed it, I've played it several times, but if you're one that watches the streams afterwards, it always gets erased out because the AI catches it and flags it and all this crap. But I will have a link to share here later this week, hopefully by Friday, to where you guys can get that. You can also, if you know my music on Reverb Nation or anything like that, I did upload to Reverb Nation. It's over there, and I'm working on dropping another hard one. Soon as I shut down the stream tonight, I will finish the rest of the night working on the song of songs. Right now, you better get ready for war. That's it, right there. if you could take that right there, the power and what I just said right there, and put it on an explosive track like you wouldn't believe, like just it hits different than any other one. Like this one's, it says it. It's just flat out like, you better get ready for war. And I go after, we go after, we name the baddies that are in it. The PETA protectors and all the baddies in it. So it's what it is, right? Like I try to utilize every tool God gives me here to fight the fight. So I do this, I drop the videos, I go live, I run the streets, do all that stuff, and I drop truth music. Truth bombs. Much love, Jay from the Ville. Brother, we got to get together. And can hook up with Steve, Daily Mock as well. And just peace. Peace to you. Also, Seymour Cannabis. Back-ass World. Domain. Deanne, thank you for everything. All the mods were holding it down. Tiffany. Apophis. Big D, I see you guys out there. Thanks for hanging out, man. I do appreciate it. Steve, all the love. Just checking the chat there before I shut it down. DJ. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Much love, prayers. Again, take us out of here, and I'll look to be back on Wednesday. And yeah, that's it. All right, much love. God bless. Stay righteous. Stay walking righteous. Did they, James? Send me a link on that if you can. Dabu7@yahoo.com. Much love. God bless. E-Fits. Thank you so much. Again, Purpose Beyond Belief. Thank you for the big super chat. Appreciate it to the fullest. Back ass, much love. Katie, Josh, Richard, much love. Christ is King, baby. All praise to the Most High. And thank you, the legendary Eon, for 7 coffees. No one else like you, brother. Legendary. above rock. Stacy, EC,